Hi yo, thank you once again and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can Dockerize your Docker application. So it will be quite a very simple project and I will try to make it as short as possible. First of all, let me show you the code. I already have some Django project here. So it's a very simple project and it just has, I'm going to quickly show you what it contains. So here I have the views. And what this application does is that you just use it to check weather forecast for different cities around the world. So this is the view. I just have this view. Then I have a second view, which is for about page, but this contains nothing important. So we have to pay attention to would be this home view, right? So that's the most important thing. Just one moment, let me expand it. So this is where to pay attention to. Although if you already have your your Django application, so this might not be useful to you anyway. So that's the view. Of course, we have the URLs, and we've got here these templates folder. There we got these three HTML pages. So the first one, this one is home page. So this is what displays the information on the website. And this is the base template. And here we've got about template. Like I said, this one does not contain any useful information. So the most important thing here would be homepage. And so let me quickly show you what the website looks like. Let me run the website first. It would be Python manage.py, then run server. So I'm going to, the server has started. Let me show you what the website does. So that's the website. So once you arrive here, you can just type in a name of any city, like I've got London here. That's what it shows. I've got Georgia, for example. That's what it shows. Let's try something like Abuja. That's what it shows us. So remember, this is not like the most sophisticated Django project out there. But the only use for this is just to use it to show you how to Dockerize your Django project, like I said during the introduction. So now, another important thing is to create the Dockerfile that we will use to Dockerize our application. So let's go back to the project. I'm going to create inside the root folder of this project. I'm going to create here a file. You call it Dockerfile. It has no extension. Oh, just one moment. No, it went into the wrong folder. Let me delete this and try again. Let me do it here. We called it a Dockerfile. So let's go into the Dockerfile. As you can see, it's the same level as this file. So make sure it's in the same level, or rather at the same level. So now we are going to look for the base image that we are going to use to create uh, our image file. So I'm using Python. This is Python. So it's going to install Python and all its dependencies. We have a sample Docker file content here. So let me copy this. I'm using Python 3. So if you have Python 2, you might want to use this. And let me copy this. Oh, no, not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Wanted to copy and let's go to our Dockerfile. I will make a very simple, very minor changes here. Here I want it to be app. Then I'm going to explain to you what it does. This you could leave it the way it is, but I like it to be like this. So what we are saying here is that we are going to use this Python 3 as our base image. So it's going to install the dependencies. Here we've got this work directory. So what this does, inside the Docker, is going to create this folder. Once it creates this folder, every other command is going to be installed inside this folder. So first of all, we are going to copy this requirement for file. I'll speak about this more shortly. So it's going to copy this requirement file. It's going to use pip to install the requirement file. Remember, everything is going to be going into this folder in the Docker, right? Then it's going to copy. There are two dots here. So the first one it means it's going to copy everything that we've got inside this folder, and then copy everything into the folder. So everything we have in our project, I was about to say, it copies everything from here and then copy them into the app folder. So here we've got this command. Before we do that, let me just do something else here. Let's say expose 8,000. So this would be the port that the project will be listening on inside the Docker. So this resides inside the Docker. You cannot use it to access your website from on, any other, like on the host machine, for example. So that's what it does. And here we are going to type here the command we use to run or to start our Django project. So here we say, so it will be, is it manage, or I think it's manage.py, comma. Here we've got port or run server, sorry. We've got run server. The next thing we've got is so we are going to use it to start the server. It seems like something is missing. Oh yeah, there should be, there should all be in quotes like this. So that's our Dockerfile content. Let me save it. Now we are going to, another thing I wanted to say. So as you can see, I already have this requirements.txt here. If you don't have it yet, you need to do it, because this is what you need to do. So you just do pip and freeze requirement requirements.txt. I'm using pip3, so you could have yours that way. If it fails, you use pip3 instead. So once you do it, you are going to find requirements.txt. So let me open it. As you can see, this is what it contains. This is a very small project, so it doesn't have a lot. If you've got more stuff in your project, obviously it's going to be bigger. But mine is very simple. So now that we did this, let's go and build our image. Before let me stop our server. Then we are going to build our image. So it will be build Docker build, and let's target. Then name of our image. Then, because the file, if you remember, the entire file is inside this folder. I don't know, you know what? Let me quickly show you. So as you can see, all the files are here. All the files and folders are here, including the Dockerfile. So because of that, when you run this code, you have to add that, showing that you are running these files inside this very folder. So let's try. This is probably going to take some time. As you can see, there are different layers. I'm not yet sure how long it might take. It depends on how fast your machine is. Actually, this is going to take quite some time. As you can see, there are 5 stages. This is the first one that is running, 1 out of 5. So it will take quite some time. If that will be the case, then I'm going to come back to you when it completes. Hello, welcome back. Now the image has been built. Like I said before, there were about 5 stages. This was the first one, right? And that was the second one, third, fourth, and fifth. So it's completed now. It took quite some time. So the image is quite big. If you want, there are different ways you could make this for the image to be smaller, right? But again, because this is a small project, so let's just continue and use it the way it is. Let me clear the screen, and what we are now going to do is to run container off of this image that we just created. Before we do that, let's first of all see our image that we just created. Just ignore any other thing you saw here. So this is the image we just created now. Weather lookup. The tag is that, and that's the image ID. It was created about 3 minutes ago. So that's what's important here. So let's check our PS. Let's see what containers we've got here. We've got no containers at all, right? So we are going to run a container. Now, let's run our Dockerfile off of that image we just built. So it's going to be Docker run, and we are going to give our container a name. Let's call it weather app, and we are going to map it on Let's say on 8,000, port 8,000. So port 8,000 is what we are going to also use to access the website on our host machine. And then let's run it in a detached mode. And now the name of our image. We called it weather lookup. Weather lookup. And let's do it. Oh, okay. That was so fast. So that's the name of our container, or rather the ID of our container. So now let's check our container. Let's say Docker PSA. So that's the container we just created now, right? That's the container. So what we are going to do, let me see the status of, okay. So what we are going to do now is we are going to access this project outside of container, right? So let's do that. So we are going to go, oh, okay, we already have it here. So let me just run it, you see? So as you can see, we do not need to start the server. If you remember, before you run the project, or rather run your Django project, you normally have to do something like Python, manage and run server. But here, as you can see, we are not doing that. So the project you're looking at now is running from the Docker. So that's the Docker project that we are running here. So let me just try something else. Let's try London. You see, that's the weather forecast for London. Let's try Prague. That's the weather forecast for Prague, right? So that's how you can build an image and Dockerize your Django project. So the next thing we need to do before we proceed, let me show you something. I'm imagining that you've got Docker Desktop installed on your host machine. If you did, so what you need to do, you could look up some of this information here as well. For instance, remember, you just go to containers. You are going to find the container we just ran now. So you can see it's weather up. You could also go to images and you will see the image name here. It's called a weather lookup. So this is a graphical user interface which you could also use to view all this information. So there are a whole lot of stuff here, as you can see. If you had volumes, you are going to find the volumes here as well. So that is it. And the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to push our image to DockerHub. I hope you got a DockerHub access. If you don't, you just go to DockerHub and create an account. It's very easy. You create an account there because you're going to use the credentials of this account to do what we to push your image to the DockerHub. As you can see at the moment, I've got nothing in my repository, right? So in order to do that, let me go back to the terminal and let's check out our images again. Docker images. Okay, so remember that's the image that we are after. That's the one we need. The rest of stuff you see here, just ignore them. In order to do that, you could do this in various ways, but what we could do, let's try to log into the Let's try to log into this DockerHub before we push. So we are going to need your username for DockerHub. It's very important. So you get your username, and the first thing, let's first of all log in. Docker login, authenticating. Oh, login succeeded. Okay, with existing credentials. The fact is that I don't know what credentials that I have here. So, but let's just try and push it and see if it goes. If it didn't, then we are going to try and fix it somehow. I haven't pushed any image to Docker Hub using this MacBook before, so apparently it still has some credentials there. So what we are going to do first of all is we are going to tag our project, the image. So let's go Docker tag, and the name of the project is, or the image, we called it weather lookup. We called it weather lookup. And the next thing we need to do is, what's your username? Mine is, that's my username. We have one, that's my username. And then the name of the image. Again, weather lookup. I hope I got it right. So you have the tag, and then remember this tag is the way you kind of try to specify what version, different versions of your project, of your image. So once you have that, let's go on and okay, so we've got the tag. We've tagged it. The next thing we need to do is to push it now. So to push it is just as simple as push, then your username, again, the name of the image, weather lookup. Let's see. Oh, there should be Docker. So this might take some time depending on how fast your network is. So let's see. Sometimes it could be quite not so slow for me. So let me just give it a couple of, let's say maybe a minute or two. What we are going to do once it ends, we are going to check the Docker Hub, the repository, to see if we have it there or not. And hopefully we should have it there. Also, why this continues, you need to know that it's very important to know that I'm using the free version of DockerHub, because if you, which is public, so it means that your image is going to be public. So if you want to use a paid one, like if you want it to be private, then it's paid. You have to pay for it, right? So, but I don't mind. I'm using the free version of it. So let's see if it's done. It's not done yet. Okay, it's taking quite some time. So what I might do is to stop recording. When it completes, I come back to you. So welcome back. Now, as you can see, we have pushed our image to the repository. It took probably 3 minutes in total, so it's not that bad. Let's see now. Let's go to the repository. Let me refresh it. There you go. So that's our image that we pushed to the repository. So now we could open it. Let's see what it will look like. So that's what it looks like. As you can see, just looks like most of the other images that you find on this repository. So if somebody wants to pull it, for example, or whatsoever, it's they could do that. And like I was saying, as you can see, it says public view. So this is public, obviously. So this is how you could push your image to the repository. So I hope this was helpful. And I'm going to see uh, what other actions we could take, what other things we could do, like how we could play with our Docker. For instance, we could log into the Docker, the container. I wanted to say we could log into the container and play around. The next thing we could do, let's try and log into the container that we built or that we run. So let's log into that and see what we've got. To do that, we could just go docker exec and let's say bin. And first of all, what's the name of if you remember the name of our container, we called it weather app. So now we are inside the container. As you can see, the prompt has changed. And how do you know that? Let's see what you've got inside the container. As you can see, this is the same files we've got. Let's see. Okay, I don't have it here at the moment. So anyway, that's the same file, or rather the folder and all the contents of our weather app. So we are now inside of the container. So here you could just do whatever you want to do. As you can see, that was the folder that we created earlier, right? Let's see. So this is very interesting. So here you could see, like, because as you know already, this is like a Linux machine, right? So as you can see all the files, all the uh, folders you could find inside of Linux, as you can see here. So now let me log out, and I'm back to my terminal. So I hope this was helpful. Please, I would like you to comment in the comment field and let me know if you have any question or if you have other ways that you do these things, and I will be interested to know about it. Thank you and bye.